morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Grant Cameron, and I have an interesting interview I want to share with you today. A lot of people have heard about a TTSA app, the To the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences. There's been a lot of discussion in the last while about an app that was being developed by TTSA to gather all the UAP sightings, and rather than having people doing parallel researches on UFOs and gather material, to get a collective database. And the idea there was an app would be developed on the phone where all the material could be gathered in one spot. And you can actually look this up. TTSA has a podcast, and in the podcast they have UAP Data Problem, episode 1, 2, and 3, which talks about this app that is on your phone, and everybody puts their material into this app, and it's all gathered in one huge database that gets shared. And in the last couple of years, I've run into a couple of people who have worked on this app, and today I'll present one of those people. He's my friend Rob Freeman, who just was in Manitoba here for 10 days filming UFOs, and I heard that he had worked on the app. So what I'm going to present to you now is my discussion with one of the people that I've talked to about this, and that's Rob Freeman, and he's going to discuss his involvement in building this app that is being used by TTSA to overcome what they sort of look at as the UAP data problem, in the fact that there's a lot of different databases, but if you can collect all the databases together, you'll be able to collect the best data by looking at all the different sightings and having them in one huge database where artificial intelligence is being used to screen out all the noise and pick up the signal and help us determine what's flying around in the sky. So I hope you enjoy this. This is my friend Rob Freeman, and we discuss his involvement in building this app. Let me ask you one other creativity, because you mentioned a little bit to me. I don't know if you can talk about it, but you created an app for UFOs for To the Stars. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I can. What happened was, I have a personal trainer, his name's Ryan, and we were, he's at a gym in his basement, and we were just chit-chatting about UFOs. And I told him my story, that I've told many times now, as you have,
yeah.
With your stories, about what happened when I was a kid. And I said, there should be an app where when something happens, you can just register it in the app, or you can take a picture or video and you can put it on the app, and it notifies people, and they can look up in the sky as well, right? And they can check out in the area. And I said, somebody should make an app like that. And Ryan said, let's do it.
Wow.
And I said, okay. So we checked out companies. There was a company in Texas called Rock Sauce, and had a good reputation. So we spent a lot of time developing this app. It was very professional, top quality, and I mean, that was really my first coming back into the UFO thing since I was a kid, right? And I'd always thought there should be an app for that, or something, so that people could get notified. What I didn't realize is that you would literally have to have everybody have that app, and not only for iPhone, but Android. So we had very few people, even though we had thousands of people with it. What are the chances of that person seeing something? So it was very rare that actually anybody posted on it, like in real time, right? It was a fantastic system with your video. You take a video and then you do the description, and it sends the video and posts and all this stuff. Very professional. And then what we wound up doing was we would really just load it up with YouTube videos, and we'd put the description in, because there's tons of YouTube videos of sightings, right? And then I was at a conference with It was the SCU conference in Huntsville, Alabama, with Rich Hoffman, Scientific Coalition for Ufology,
Okay.
and they had Lou Elizondo speaking, and Hal Puthoff and so on was
Okay.
there.
So it would be what
Hal
year?
Puthoff, yeah.
What year would that be?
I'd have to look it up. It's like 2 years ago now,
Okay,
maybe.
okay,
Maybe,
okay.
yeah, 2 years ago. And they were speaking about the Tic Tac incident, and the SCU guys had done this huge document on it. So that was a big part of the conference that weekend, and Lou was there from To the Stars. And I had always wanted to meet Lou, and he was right there. So I went over to the table and I met him. And two things. I showed him also the Cusco craft, that, you know, that bluish craft that we caught in the air on my iPhone. I showed him that and wanted to find out if he knew what that might be. And Lou thought it was likely the energy imprint left in the atmosphere of the craft, you know, zipping away, whether it was into another dimension or what, just the energy that's involved with that, ionizing the atmosphere and living the print. You know, he described it as much like when you're sitting in a lawn chair for a while, and when you get up, you have the imprint on your back, right?
Yeah.
You know, all the
Yeah.
cross-hatching or whatever, right? But I did talk to him privately at the table, and I showed him the app. I thought they might be interested because they were talking about developing an app.
Yeah.
And I thought, why reinvent the wheel? So he said, this is interesting. I showed him how it worked, and he said, you know, Tom will be very interested in this, and the guys. And he said, I want you to come out to California. So my trainer, myself, and I brought Marcus along, and we went out and spent the whole day with the guys. Now, I was kind of disappointed that Tom wasn't there, but all the other guys were there. So we met all the guys, and by the end of the day, we had made a deal with them.
Wow. And they're still using it?
They're developing it.
Okay.
They're going to add all kinds of things into it. So they've changed the name, they're calling it Scout. And they're adding all these other things into it, like database. Same idea as we did with YouTube. They're going to go back to all sightings and put into this app. So yeah, it's kind of neat. So, you know, I've got a little bit of a direct line into To the Stars with Lou. I don't, you know, try to take advantage of it. And we really appreciated spending the day with them, and then we came home.
Wow. Any questions? Fascinating. Let's leave it at that.